Girl, I have been reading Joshua, and girl, the Bible will read you, okay? The Bible will, like, get you together. Get you together. But, like, so I have been reading through Joshua or whatever, and then there were a couple of things that kept sticking out to me. One was that, like, some sections would end off with, like, and they lived this way to this day, or that's how it was to this day, or it remained that way to this day, to the point that it was like really showing that, like, once they got into the promised land and they conquered the land, or if they were too afraid or if they didn't want to drive out the people from the land or whatever, like once they got there, it was like the foundation was laid. So if you didn't deal with what God had then gave you the authority to deal with, then it was like that to this day. And to, like, make it practical, I think of it as like if God is calling you higher, right? He's calling you higher, but in the midst of him calling you higher, he's telling you to, like, he's pruning you. So he's bringing things to your attention so that you can uproot it. It could be something like procrastination, or, like, for me, my health, how I take care of my body, what I feed my body, right? So, like, if I'm in a season where God is, like, pruning these things, he's pruning what I eat, he's pruning what I watch, and he's uprooting it. While he's doing that, I feel like I have the authority, or I'm realizing that I not have the authority over my flesh to be like, no, I'm not putting that in my body. No, like, I don't need that to feel good. I don't need that to feel energized. I don't need sugar. I don't need this drink. I don't need, when I say this drink, I mean, like, cream sodas. I love cream sodas. I'm not talking about no alcohol now. Not. No judgment. I'm just saying that's not what I'm talking about. But it's like he's cleaning up what I eat, and it's not necessarily that something is bad. Like, it's not that these things are bad, but for some reason he is cleaning it up in me. So, like, while he's doing it, as long as I'm surrendered to him, then through him I have the sorority. Through him I have that authority to, like, deny my flesh. Through him I have the authority to, like, or it can be like forgiveness, or being bold with your faith, or whatever the case is. But while he's trying to do it and you're surrendered to him doing it, it's like there's a grace and there's a mercy. But, like, it's, if you don't tend to the things that he's trying to make you tend to, not only will it happen, if he wanted to happen, either way it goes, but when it happens, it's probably gonna be harder, it's probably gonna be worse, it's probably gonna be like something that you didn't even have to go through, something that you didn't want to go through. So that's what I've been thinking about, like how when he told them to go into these lands to conquer it, because he had already given it to them. Gave it. He had already given them the land. They just had to go in and drive the other people out. They had to go in and conquer it, and some people just did not want to do the work, or some people just did not want to be in war. Some people just did not want to deal with it, or whatever the case was. So where he was giving them the grace to go in and be able to overthrow these enemies, they did not take advantage of that grace. So now they had to live. That wasn't their land. They had to live in the place where what they were supposed to drive out now live there with them. So it'd be like you living with procrastination when God was trying to get you to drive it out. You living with anxiety when God was trying to get you to drive it out. You living with gluttony when God was trying to get you to drive it out. So I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. I feel like, because I don't got no notebook or nothing with me, but, like, I was like, that really stuck out to me. And then another thing that stuck out to me, I just feel like Joshua is just another great example. Like, of course, we have great examples all through the Bible, but for the sake of Joshua, because that's what I was reading, it's like, and I guess it's just because that's what I be looking for. Like, I love just seeing evidence, whether it be evidence through like real life or evidence in the Bible, whether it be evidence like from my next door neighbor or evidence in the Bible. I love to see it, but I feel like Joshua is just another great example that God is a promise keeper. He's a promise keeper. Whenever they was moving into that land, some of the tribes was coming to Israel, was coming to Joshua saying, you know, the Lord said that I would have this land, and the Lord said that this was this, and the Lord said that. And Joshua was like, okay, go get that. The Lord kept his promise to all of them. He kept his promise. And then also another thing that just got me thinking about is like, there is a reason why God tells us, fear not. He tells us, do not be afraid. He tells us to be strong and courageous. Because when you are walking with Him, you are going to be faced with things where you want to be afraid. You're going to feel afraid. But He's telling you to, you might can feel it, but don't be it. Be strong, be courageous, but don't let fear become your identity. Don't let you get stuck because you're afraid to move on what I have already given you. Whenever they got to that promised land, they still had to go in there and conquer it. They had to drive it out. So the thing is, just like they had to go into that promised land, I look at it as us. When we are here now on this earth, we are not fighting for victory. We are fighting from victory. But a lot of us move through life fighting for victory. You don't have to fight for victory. The victory is already yours. The victory has already been won. We have Jehovah Nissi, who is our banner, okay? He is waving that banner. That banner is yours. That banner is ours. So you don't have to work from you don't have to work for victory. You're working from victory. And I feel like when they were going into the promised land, they were going into the promised land from a place of victory. God had already given them that land. He had already overthrown their enemies, but they had to move on that. They had to still go in there and actually put the action in. So it just makes me sit down and think, like, what has God given me? What land has God put my name on that I have been afraid to go in and conquer? What land has God already given me? Where is he telling me to go and conquer, and I have allowed fear to make me stand still? There was a scripture in Joshua. I had highlighted it in my Bible. Let me go get my Bible. I had highlighted it in my Bible, but I don't remember which chapter it was. Yeah, that was this is not the other scripture that I had mentioned earlier. Was Joshua 21:45. It said, "Not one of the Lord's good promises to Israel failed; everyone was fulfilled." And that's just evidence that He is a promise keeper. But that's not what I'm talking about. I can't remember. Oh, so it was in 18, Joshua 18, 3. It says, "So Joshua said to the Israelites, 'How long will you wait before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given to you?'" Hey, y'all too loud. And that just made me sit and like reflect on that and even ask myself that question, like, how long are you gonna wait? Or what have you been waiting around on that God has already given um that God has already given to you? Like peace. Maybe God has already given you that land, giving you peace in that area. Maybe He has already given you joy in that area. Maybe it's victory. He has already given you victory in that area, and you're just waiting around. When you gotta move, you gotta go forward, you gotta walk in that faith, walk in that truth that He is a promise keeper. So yeah, girl, that's where I had been at lately. Now, yeah, I don't have that much more to go in Joshua. I'll probably be done in Joshua. Um, in the next day or two. But yeah, all of those just really stuck out to me, and it just really blessed me, and it just, you know, especially with where I was saying that it would end. Like, let me see if I can find, like, for example, in Joshua 10, 27, it says, at sunset, Joshua gave the order, and they took them down from the poles and threw them into the cave where they had been hiding. At the mouth of the cave, they placed large rocks, which are there to this day. And there's a lot of different things that happen in Joshua where it say, which is there to this day, or which they do to this day, or whatever the case is. So, like I said about that, it just really made me reflect on like the things that God are doing. I know that a shift has happened, and I know that prior to that shift, there were things that God just was bringing to my attention and changing and uprooting. And me and one of my friends was talking about this the other day. It's like you consecrate being consecrated should be your life. Like, you shouldn't just consecrate to fast, but you should live a consecrated life. And we had bought the year in, well, we had fasted with the church at the beginning of the year, but it's like both of us was coming to a realization of like the stuff I was doing, the things that I fasted from, I don't even really want back. It's like I want to maintain that, and I'm gonna maintain that. So it's like I just feel like the foundation is being laid. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like foundation is being laid, so it's not like God is having you to just withdraw from things and go back to it. It's like foundation is being laid. So like if He's doing the work, if He's uprooting things, then allow it to be like that to this day. Because if you don't, if you like try to make excuses for the things that He's trying to uproot, if you try to protect what He's trying to uproot, then that can be something that He's trying to uproot for what He's taking you will be something like a thorn in your side that you have to deal with if you don't surrender it, if you don't let it go. So it can, like I'm saying, it can be something that doesn't even look bad or doesn't even have like a bad effect on you right now. It might not even look like it's an issue for you right now. Let's take something like social media. Social media could like not be a distraction to you right now, but maybe God is trying to pull it. Maybe God is trying to remove it. Maybe God is trying to tell you to withdraw away from it. And you trying to make excuses or be like, oh, well, I'll withdraw on Sundays, or I'll withdraw in the mornings, or whatever the case is. But then whenever you get where you're going, then you may see that now it's an issue. So it wasn't an issue when He was trying to uproot it. It wasn't an issue that you could see when He was trying to uproot it. But now that when we like skip ahead, now that He has you where He was sending you, where He knew all along you would go to, now it's an issue. And it's something that can be hard for you to like live with, or something that's hard for you to break free from. It can be something that turns into like a stronghold, something that turns into an idol. So when He's trying to uproot it, it may not be an idol yet. It may just be a seed. That's what I'm trying to say. He's trying to uproot it, or He's trying to pull you away from it. It might not be an idol yet. It might just be a seed that had been planted, and you didn't even realize it was planted. So right now, you can just move it out the way. You can just let it go, and it not even be a big thing. But if you keep protecting the thing that He is trying to get you to remove, then that seed is going to grow. That seed is going to plant. That seed is going to take root. So by the time it begins to sprout and you begin to see it, then you can't just pull it away because it has taken root. So then it's going to be a struggle to get that up out of you. It's going to be a struggle for you to let that go. And it's His grace, it's His mercy, it's His love for us, where He tries to come ahead of us. And when He see the seed planted, He try to tackle it then. But sometimes we be protecting it. We don't want to let it go because we're enjoying it. we don't want to let it go because we don't see nothing wrong with it. We don't want to let it go because it doesn't seem like it's a problem. But if God says let it go, if God says remove it, if God says no, then that's what it should be. Because anytime you are putting something over obedience, anytime you are putting something over God, then that thing is becoming an idol. That thing is an idol. I hope all of that makes sense. I hope I communicated what I was trying to say.